Howdy, assholes! Are you 13? Are you? Well, let me tell you something. If you're 13 years old or older, sit back, grab yourself some popcorn, enjoy the show. You're allowed to stay. But if you're not 13, get the fuck out. Right now. This show is not for you. It is not for children. It is for adults and young adults, and you should go ask your parents why they suck at their job because they're letting YouTube raise their kid. So yeah, go do that. Come back when you're 13. Enough said.
Well, I've never really been a fan of shit that was made specifically for kids. Until recently, there's only been one exception. But I suppose I could give this a watch. Just once. Alrighty then, Noah. Are you ready? We have already covered the original series of Godzilla, the Showa series. And now, we are covering essentially what could be seen as filler in the grand scheme of things.
Well, I guess you can say that.
I'm not bashing. Yeah, for its time, this show wasn't actually that bad.
For a first American product, technically, for Godzilla.
Yeah.
Wasn't that bad.
No, this show wasn't that bad at all. Unfortunately, it was geared towards kids, but oh well. Yes, everyone watching our video right now, today in our Godzillathon, we embark on the journey to cover what might be our shortest episode in this entire series, the Hanna Barbera Godzilla TV show. Oh boy, yeah, you ready to do this, my man?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Go ahead and list the names of the actors real quick, and after that, I will go ahead and talk more about it.
And it looks like that my tongue finally gets a rest from those Japanese names. For us, we have Jeff David as Captain Carl Majors, Brenda Thompson as Dr. Quinn Derry, Kylie Hicks as Brock Gordon. What the fuck is this name? Hold up. We got Al Eisenman as Peter Darien. And, oh, interesting. We got Don Messick as the new kaiju of the show that was never seen before, Godzuki.
Yeah. All the time. There just has to be something that screws with every good Godzilla product, doesn't there?
At least it looks better than Manila.
Yeah, that's no shit.
We have B.J. Ward as Jana of the Jungle. We got Michael Bell as Dr. Ben Cooper. And, finally, we have Ted Cassidy as Montoro / Godzilla. Well, the vocal effects for Godzilla.
I mean, I guess you could call it vocal effects. Let's cue up the roar real quick. Shit. Okay. In all fairness, I can't really give this show too much of a bad time because, once again, this show, well, first of all, it was from the 80s, and second of all, it was also specifically geared towards children, much like some of the earlier Showa films, except some of the earlier Showa films that we covered, well, first of all, the ones that were that specifically geared towards kids, a lot of them were kind of shitty, and the ones that weren't shitty, they just didn't quite sit right. But yeah, this show is specifically geared towards kids, and actually, for its time period and for what it wasn't bad at all. There are some major criticisms, and we'll get to those. But for the most part, not a bad show. And I'm gonna go ahead and talk about some of this shit. Yes, as Noah stated previously, this is the first American-produced Godzilla product. It was filmed and produced exclusively in the United States, and unfortunately, Hanna Barbera only had the rights to use Godzilla in the show, and they did not have the rights to use any of his exclusive kaiju. So, yeah, none of the monsters from the Showa series ever appear in this show, except debatably Manila in the form of Godzuki. God damn it, why did this little shit have to be in the show? And that's not even just a criticism from me because I hate kids shows. No. There have been other kids shows in the past around the same time frame that didn't have to include characters as annoying and stupid as this one. So why the hell is Godzuki even here? He's stupid. He doesn't even seem like he's related to Godzilla except for the green skin. And not only that, he has wings. How the hell does this little shit have wings? What? I'm not even going to question it anymore. And so, Noah, with that little bit out of the way... Oh, shit, I almost forgot. Henry G. Saperstein actually returns for this project. I believe he was maybe an executive producer. I don't exactly know what his role in the show was. I just know that he was in it, and it might have been due to the fact, well, not in it, but I know that he was involved in the making of it, and that might have been due to the fact that he was involved in the making of Invasion of Astro Monster. So, yeah, that's kind of all that is. So yeah, without further ado, are you ready to talk about the show itself?
Yep.
Alrighty. Well, for the first time, Godzilla is subjected to a series that is your Monster of the Week sort of show, where every single episode has a different kaiju for Godzilla to fight and a different issue for him to solve. And not only that, but it also has a ton of stock footage. Granted, the stock footage is mainly just used for whenever the Big G is just walking around and whenever he's, not in active combat, but the point still stands, it just gets annoying after a while. And the Hanna Barbera series, it's the shortest rundown I'll ever go through. Yeah. The Godzilla TV series follows a team of scientists on the hydrofoil research vessel called the Silico Caliso, however the hell you say it. And, they follow Godzilla around and assist him in his many battles on this adventure. And, basically every single week they come up with a new kaiju for Godzilla to fight and come up with a new threat for the big guy to face. And, I mean, some of these monsters look cool, others just look stupid as shit. And no, I'm not talking about Godzuki.
Well, what you get for a Hanna-Barbera show?
Yeah. That being said, however, this show, there are a few decisions that can be seen as creative production decisions that I just really don't agree with. First of all, why the hell did they give Godzilla heat vision? Yeah, I don't understand why the hell they did that. Like, are they literally trying to rip off Superman with that shit? It's just dumb. Why did they give him heat vision?
I mean, it's not the weirdest ability we've seen Goji use. I don't even think it's even heat vision, it's just eye lasers. Then again, Hanna-Barbera doesn't really have proper atomic breath.
Yeah, he doesn't have proper atomic breath. I actually was not gonna mention that. Thank you for bringing that up, Noah. Yeah, he doesn't have proper atomic breath. He has flame breath. And it's not blue or anything. It's literally just fire spewing from his mouth. Sort of like a dragon. And, I don't have a problem with that. It's just, in comparison to the previous Godzillas, it just seems odd.
Well, granted, the atomic breath itself is never really that consistent, seeing as how The first iteration, 1954, it wasn't really atomic breath, more or less of incandescent light or just white smoke breath.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying we gotta point it out, and for the sake of the video, we gotta make sure everything is as transparent as possible. So, yeah.
And also, let's be honest on how the way Hanna-Barbera portrayed them is using the classic stereotypical giant green fire-breathing monster.
Yeah. Well, actually, yeah, let's just go ahead and talk about the monster action now since you brought that up. Yeah. Godzilla's design in this series. He's to date this is the biggest Godzilla there is. Or not to date. Talking about to date with this series. Yeah, he's big,
yeah.
he's green, and he has a single row of dorsal plates down his back. And honestly, did they purposely make him chubby, or was that like an accident?
They probably did it on purpose, maybe.
Well, whether or not they did it on purpose, it was still. I don't want to say that it's a bad thing because future versions of the character are also chubby and big boned, but yeah, no. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I just didn't really know whether or not that was an intentional thing or not. And his face, I don't really think they specifically modeled his face after any of the priors. Instead, I think they just went with like a Tyrannosaurus Rex face and just said fuck it. Again, there's not a problem with that. But let's get into the human aspect of this show. And the human aspect of the show, in my personal opinion, it's not bad, but once again, it is a children's show. So, the human characters don't really have much in terms of, like, don't have much in terms of story arcs and shit like that, because, honestly, with the show format that it was, they didn't really have time to focus on that. They just had time to focus on, the Monster of the Week setup where they would design a new character for Godzilla to fight and find a new way to take down. And, honestly, I mean, I don't really like shows like that because, one, they're kids' shows, and because, two, they feel like they're a complete waste of time. But at the same time, I will admit it does allow the creative team to go ahead and invent some new and interesting characters and powers for them. So, yeah. For example, I mean, I don't know exactly all the monsters from the show. I just know that there's one from the show that all the Hanna-Barbera fans really seem to like. And in fact, there's a man on YouTube by the name of Virhano who made a video about Godzilla versus this thing. Axor? Is that how you pronounce this fucker's name?
Are you talking about that Phantomation where they used the Final Wars model?
Yeah.
Yeah, Axor.
Yeah, and I will admit that I don't really have the show. I do have access to it on online to where I can watch the full show, but at the same time, I don't really know all the monsters, and I haven't memorized any or all of them at all. So, unfortunately, if y'all in the comment section do have these creatures memorized and enjoy them, I am sorry, and I do not want to disrespect you, but at the same time, I don't exactly know who they are, or and the only one I know by name is Axor. So with that being said, Noah, yeah, who would you recommend this show to?
Well, as stated before, this is a children's show,
Yeah.
children.
Yeah, I would also recommend it to small children. Honestly though, if I had to pick any specific fan bases to recommend this show to, I might go ahead and say, like, okay, obviously hardcore Godzilla fans are gonna find some enjoyment out of this show, even with how odd it is. But there, like, not only would children enjoy the show and some hardcore Godzilla fans, but I will say that if you're, like, a fan of old vintage, like, old world sort of shit like this, where, the quality isn't as good as it is today, and the animation is just, you know, that 80s style, you might also enjoy the show. Yeah, that's basically that. And that is the Hanna Barbera show covered. So Noah, are you ready for tomorrow?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, join us tomorrow as we take a look at the beginning of the Heisei series of Godzilla films. Godzilla 1985. Or, well, actually, it was released in 1984 in Japan, and it was titled The Return of Godzilla. However, the name everyone most associates with it is Godzilla 1985. So, yeah.
Americans.
Yeah.
Americans.
Fucking American studios, man. They're, like, something else entirely. Alright, join us tomorrow when we cover that.
From the depths, 30 stories high, breathing fire, his head in the sky. Godzilla, Godzilla, Godzilla.
Alright, y'all know the drill. Like, leave a comment, and subscribe. Y'all want more videos, right? More kick-ass shit? Well, good, because I want more views. Let's help each other on this.